Looks like that it's starting. Hello everyone folks, welcome back. Sorry about the little delay. This is Gnomes and today we're gonna continuing. Welcome Lucas Smith, glad to have you back. How are you doing, bro? So we're gonna continue here. So today I still don't have the cards the start of this week. I had a health problem, but we're gonna continue here the progress on this character design. I wasn't able to fix the let's also get some soundtrack here. I wasn't able to fix the no, not this, sorry, what is I think it's this one. Okay, yes, I wasn't able to fix the mistake on the repetitions, but so this is a Dragon Nest Archer character, so this is a action MMORPG, very old, like 2010 I guess, and I've played that in some server that worked for the Western with some delay, but it was playable. Very good action RPG. I think it's inspired later on the Genshin Impact, and so there is the character designs which relate to the style that I was already doing by when I learned about that game. I think I started playing that about in 2012 maybe. So I was already drawing these characters. Of course my style improved, and it was interesting how the character designs, yeah, I found it very interesting in terms of 3D. And at that time I was super noobish in 3D and Blender. I was just barely experimenting with modeling characters. I didn't know anything like mesh topology concept. I just knew that, yeah, Blender was about Blender 2.6 by then, something like that. So it was just received some major updates, you know, from Blender 2.6 to 2.5 to 2.6. I think that was a big development. Let's see here. So hold on, just 1 second here. It says someone is messaging me with something that is important. I try to, yeah, okay, so here, gonna go back here. So what I'll do today, I don't have the cards yet in this week, I hope it will be better day by day, but we're gonna try to do something smooth here. Of course I want to start modeling. So what is interesting that I intend to be doing here is today we are, so backcore it's over today. Base mesh, yeah, base mesh is a good positioning, a good point. Go Proington today please. Proington, what is Proington today please? Speed modeling even, so subdivision, just the loop bridge methods, no retopo, straight, you should see paint, normal, maxing. I don't understand some of the words here, but yeah, today like I'm just gonna do the test with the other head methods just to see the difference, right? You know, I've checked the internet, it's head plus jaw for this and that other that I liked to make this, right? So I'm just gonna make this and compare this but we already have the measurements, and I will use these heads things, and then we're gonna make a model sheet of the character. I'll try to make a model sheet that is not her exactly, but it will her in a merge between this style and this style for 3D. So it will be a grease pencil 2D model sheet, like as I would be trying to get a new character design that is not, it will be original, sort of a blend between what my style in 2D and the style in 3D. And of course the final style I'll try to also in 3D. I'll try to see what looks good. So I've been trying to make the mask face of the character more like, just to experiment, like anime, right? This mask thing, right? Instead of something more cartoonesque, and so I'm gonna try to blend this into a single thing. So this, and now of course use UQ Paint, but I don't know what's that. Sorry, the UQ Paint. Let's just check here in Google. It's UQ Paint of them are done to manage texture layers for the EVN cycles run. I don't know about this. What kind of add-on is this? Interesting. Layers for EVN. Yeah, it's an extension, right? It's free. Do you know how to use this? I never used this. Stack image, vertex, attributes generated, or many others. What's the relevance of this? You can add modifiers like a location. Never mind, I said UQ Paint. You already have a fully fledged matte library material. Why not pull up in Natash's crown for that? In Natash, oh yeah, so I'll take a look in this UQ Paint later, but thanks for the mentioning. So yeah, so you can, the materials, the textures, yeah, well, the character is complete in terms of geometry, but all the cloth, yeah, it's just the rig that is missing. And to complete her for rigging is just that I wanted to improve the previous character. It holds the rig template, and so I had some issues in the beginning of this week that interrupted some of my plans, but now I'm getting back and I'm changing the streams a little. This is why I'm bringing this new proposition instead of, so she will be hanging the character there. This is why I stopped when I finished the model things, which is very attractive. Visually it's interesting. Rigging can be super boring and to stream, so but when she'll be ready for rigging, then I'll bring her back. Hello, welcome Nandi Okudiri. Yeah, welcome to the stream. So here I'm gonna make a new model here, 3D model, based on this my style here in 2D, and this style of sort of a mix of dragon nest. So turns out that these proportions are slightly similar in terms of head stall, right? And so they have some relative proportions. So let's start with this this time with this, right? So this time I'll be careful about this grease pencil because this can pose a lot of trouble. So here is the world origin, right? So I'm gonna pick another because I don't want this. Yeah, where is it? Okay, I remember. Okay, so because I wanted to have the sketch Necromancer, sketch Nico, there's just call head jaw. Yeah, so head jaw, and let's say Necromancer head. So this is head and his is head jaw. So basically what it is that this is yeah, we have this option here, auto lock inactive layer, so you can easily switch here, but we need still to make these things hidden. Also we are hiding everything, disabling viewports, everything except for the grease pencil object and this. So now I need to select the grease pencil, and there is nothing here, but we go on. So I think I'm not sure if it was clear what I was explaining, Master Smith, but then would I think that might be clear enough, right? Hope so. If not, just mention what wasn't clear, or if you want to suggest something different, maybe I can adapt something here. But about the planning, right? Because I think I'll bring her back, Natasha. Yeah, about her texture, actually, yes, there are plenty of materials that could be reused for this new character. I haven't even thought about the materials here. Okay, so what I'm doing wrong here is that we need to start with that circle again. So probably I can reuse this same circle here, because what happens here is essentially is that we are going to go on edit mode. Let's try to reposition this. It doesn't need to be exactly on the same spot of the other, although it will be better if it is something like that. Yeah, so it's okay. It's just that now we're gonna bring here with the, where's the tools here? So here there's no brush here that works. This is for the brush, not for this. Okay, so now we're gonna make the head jaw thing. So I was double checking some modelings of drawing modeling, right, of structuring of head proportions, and looks like that the famous Loomis method, I didn't even remember quite that, but actually they make the head, of course this for anatomic head, they cut slice the sides of, and then they add some jaw here by having, I don't know exactly where, so they say strange, I don't know what I need to read the book and find what's the process. The information I found is really poor, doesn't show quite, like, I just checked fast, but yeah, all the information is very stupid. What the you need to read the book to have clear idea of everything, unless you already know, you're just revising. But so I'm not gonna do this cut here because I'm not doing the Loomis method for cartoon, right? But it's interesting. There's another method that is, I forgot the name, that I wasn't aware. I was aware, but not about the name. It's something about the anatomic shape, so you can like draw sort of not geometric but sort of organic shapes. That I was doing this is my actual model sheets, right? You know, for example, I was using that partially that method, like I was doing this cheekbone, all this some lines here. We could do some things like that, but that will be too much, right? So, but I was doing some things that could be that relate to that other method that I don't remember now. Just learned it has a name. So okay, so I'm gonna add the jaw. So here's the tip of the jaw, so this will be the head jaw thing. Of course this doesn't help because I need to adapt. The jaw will not be this, will be, I'm trying to mimic this character design for now, because we're gonna use this to calculate, right, the head jaw thing. To, where is this? No, I think it's about here, right? Okay, it should be about here. Yeah, so we're gonna calculate this head jaw. See, it's not too much different, so I'm gonna pick all this. So now this is a single selection, right? No mistake there, that no problem with select all. There's nothing right now, nothing else to select everywhere, right? Because now I'm using layers correctly. Then GZ, would there be some way to array this? Maybe. No, there's an array. Okay, Louis. There we go. So this can be a good idea. So count, let's say, yeah, I could do basic 8 to C, but isn't it, seems like raising, or is it just an illusion? No, anyways, we don't want like this, we want to array vertically. So I just do 1 here, 0 here. Now it's not the Y, it's the Z. This is 3D space. Alright, but array negative, right? Negative Z. Okay, so this is much better, right? This is the pro. You know those stupid videos like noob versus pro. This is the model sheet for Blender in Grease Pencil for pro is I was doing noob yesterday. Now this is the pro method. Of course, need to apply this probably. Yeah. Apply. Okay, we need to apply here, right? Apply all keyframes. Yeah. Okay. I think this is correct. Apply all keyframes. Oh, by the way, this is a highlight, folks. Total highlight. But I'm gonna have to edit. Where's the star emoji? Okay. They love creating the emojis, but they don't care about how to find the emoji you want. So here is the noob versus pro. Model sheet heads counting. Yeah, Grease Pencil model sheet. Yeah. Grease Pencil model sheets heads counting using, yeah, that's it. Please, okay, and also let's edit this. Now I can't edit. Okay, so let's actually remove this. Wait, remove. Then please look backwards few minutes from this point. Alright, yeah, this takes time because this is a backwards thing, and here we seems like that we nope, this didn't apply to all the keyframes, so this thing is glitched or not. Yeah, because it's disappearing, it doesn't have keyframes there. Actually, there we go. Okay, so I keep the keyframes here. Yeah, because I was drawing here. Let's stay here in this place. So I can't shift left arrow, just need to go left arrow here, so or just snap this here. Yeah, let's stay here so we stop messing up the keyframes of this. So now let's go back here so we can count. We can see that 1 2 3 4 5. Because the head is not too different, right? The size of the head is not too different. It's a significant difference if we multiply this by this factor, right? Well, I made an extra so that we can, yeah, just to have it, whatever. Just in case maybe I want to make some tests, I change so we have another extra one. It's already applied, so we don't need to be adjusting this. We can also adjust all by, right, like this with the cursor 3D cursor. So, but we don't mind this. This is correct apparently. So it was 5. Yeah. So the previous one had 5 plus 3/4. So it's nearly 6 heads tall. So this one should be less because these heads are taller. Head plus jaw are taller. So I have 1 2 3 4 5 and yeah, less than half, because the high heel boots will make that the base of the foot will be about here. Of course, the foot here is foreshortening, is perspective, so this is why it's going down. But actually, what matters for, if we set this to orthographic view, then the foot will be squashed into the screen. So it will be somewhere like here. Yeah, somewhere like here. And if we want something, this leg is behind, so it's smaller, it's natural to be smaller. So you have, but we can also try some sort of middle term between this and this one. So maybe you could say that it will be about here. So this will have to investigate in more detail. So this is usually complicated, but we will find out what feels good in over time. So this usually is difficult, and sometimes we need to adjust the final conclusion on the 3D model from the 3D model process instead of the model sheet. This is my own experience, but for this character, because it's not my original style, it won't be that. I could make my style this for this character, but she's not in the universe, so I want to make it merge, right? So this is why. So it doesn't really matter. What feels good will be. So this will be more spontaneous. So this is a more intuitive way to work, less analytic, more intuitive. So it will tend to be faster and less perfectionist. So we got this one. We're gonna just take a note here. So it will be. Yeah, so what it will be like, we get line. Gonna try to, where is the middle here? It looks like somewhere like yeah, this doesn't need to be perfect, but somewhere like here. So this is the middle and of this head jaw thing. We can also try to, yeah, we could, let's say we could what's okay, this point here, you see this is bad. Oh no, this is an illusion. So actually I've made it a bit lower, so this creates some illusion. Interesting. I made it lower. No, it's not possible. That's very bizarre. Okay, we can. It's normal that things occur. I'm just having. Okay, let's make then a new circle. Like a circle that will encompass the whole head, right? So here I think that won't okay, we can select with click L G. Okay, but now we see that I've make this. Okay, no, it's difficult to handle all that, but and then these points in editing, we don't see them very well, so it's grid span, so it's a lot of complications for this kind of workflow, but it is feasible. And if we know the basics, if we know how to solve some issues, it's not that hard. It's interesting. The cool thing, of course, the best advantage, that you can reshape these things in 3D, so it's very adaptive, and I like this. So this is the only reason that it works. Also because then we can do everything in Blender, so I buy that. But it took me many months to get familiar with. And here I hope I won't make a problem with the circle. Yeah, I think this is the tangent here. Yeah, I see very clear where's the straight line. So here will be this center. So what I was doing two. Wow. No, this is not possible. No, this is below the tangent. Okay, of the sides. Yeah. and then it's like picking this and halving this distance of the jaw, and then adding this to the, subtracting it to the, yeah, makes sense. That is the perfect illusion. Like, it looks like it is the center of the circle, but then we see that the half moon, let's say, on the top is slightly larger. Especially look at these corners here. There's like a helmet, and here, yeah, very interesting. So this is kind of these problems in drawing that happens all the time, and noob or even professionals, they sometimes misinterpret the proportions, right? So need to be super attention to special keen eye for those things, and they are everywhere. The geometry, the different geometries are everywhere to spot. And okay, so here, now that we've got this one's really tough. I wasn't able, had to make this. Usually I can, maybe it's just that I'm tired here. I said I don't have the cards today yet, but we can do some good stuff still. It's just that it will be slightly sluggerish, but we're gonna get there. So if you're patient, you'll find it, or just watch later in the right moment when something is achieved. So here now we got to continue here, right? So we need to half this way, so it will be, I think, half here will be somewhere about, well, I'm doing this, right? You can just rough things out, it's much faster. So really something like here, right? So this means this line here, and of course then this is for having the line that will give us good right, everywhere clean, right? So I'm doing this separation. Oh yeah, I'm counting the, and it was actually at the top, so we need to do this again. So we want about here, right? So you want to cut in half this, no, not here, probably more like here. This one is already illusion. If you look here, it looks very tall, but actually they are probably the same, right? Yeah, they're about the same. Okay, so this is too detailed. Let's just so here, if we consider that I can decide between this and these heights, so you see, let's say it will be this and this, so we'll have somewhere in between. Let's favor more this leg here, which may be the more basis, so we can favor like an in between, like about here, like one fourth. So we're gonna make actually this thing about, yeah, let's leave these details here. It doesn't matter, this is just counting. We'll make it like, yeah, 1/4. So oops, this is not perspective, so this is no, this is badly, yeah, 1/4 actually is between, yeah, let's do the visually, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna place it here, yeah. So this will be the actual height of this, which let's just define it to a simpler way. Simplifying also helps, right? Instead of trying to do a chaotic value, try to get trees, right, halves and stuff like that. It's usually very good. Trees sometimes looks more elegant, but sometimes cause some trouble, depending on what you're doing. But usually in halves it's more complicated in some ways, but it's very clean. Sometimes it's not very elegant, but it's nice. So sometimes you can combine both, right? And on different features. And there should be other proportions that I denied, but usually I just use those for this kind of stuff. So here we're gonna get this and this, of course, as you can see. If this is the half of the head jaw, then this is 1/4. This is be 3/8, right? So what we have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 5.38. Yeah, so okay, this you can do something else, but I like this this way. It's not a multiplication, it's just a point, period. Okay, so we can name this head jaw here, and let's just R for rough, yeah, because these are taking too much time, space, or not reading stuff well. So 3, yeah, 5 and 3/8. That's fine then. Okay, now you're gonna apply the same technique here, the same to the, and then I'll start to model. Yeah, actually to make the model sheet. So still a little bit boring here, but especially if you watch some of the past, which is yeah, we're gonna hide everything here. We're gonna interesting just okay, this was 6.5, right? We can also could compare the, but this is messed up. Unfortunately, I had time to fix. So here we're gonna bring a new one. This will be rough head jaw 5 point. Actually, I don't know, right? So actually, this has a name. It's B. Yeah, so rough B head jaw, and this is rough neck. Yeah, N of necromancer, right? Okay, I think I'll understand that. And the others we can get this structure here. Yeah. This is C2, yeah, whatever. Sketch, this is all mixed up. They are here. This is why I've made these mistakes accidentally. So this is why I should have done this totally before. Okay, let's go back here. So we see this is all visible. We don't want that, so we just want a new here, a new greasepaint layer. Everything locked there, also not locked but unselectable. We just so we cannot select this image, can't mess this up, but we still need to select the grease pencil as an active object. And so now we can start doing this. So we can start here with this circle, and yeah, this circle was a bit messy to, I remember, difficult, right? So we can, this is the, it is here, right? We can use the same there. There's a way to do this actually. If we, let's do this. Okay, if I get here, I can get precise on edit mode. Yeah, let's pick this circle, shift D, and yeah, we can do that. Move to the duplicate. Okay, let's control. No, it doesn't work. It's not, it's move, but I don't see where it should be. Okay, it's probably somewhere here. Move to layer. Yeah, M, so M shortcut, just as in the outliner. So it's moved to B, this head jaw. B because this, oh, it's locked. So when you are using this option there, auto lock in active list, this always happens. So you need to unlock and then make the move. Alright, then now we can probably lock here just to maintain. Also, we don't want this thing visible. There we go. Now we can go back here and we can start making the jaw here. So because her head is tilted, we'll have to make this reference tilted as well in this case. How much I will tilt that, I think I'll, because she is looking more to the side, so this is a bit complicated, but we just need to find an angle here, so there won't be too big difference, so it's not big deal. But it can be complicated because we might not, if we do this, we might not have the best. Yeah, it can also work, like we need a 90 degrees here angle to get this. So yeah, it's pretty feasible to do this by visually. It's just this is the hardest part actually, but we can get a good approximation here. This looks like her. Yeah, let's start from here and then we start to creating the angle. Yeah, this looks to be aligned with the tangent. Yeah, something like here, right? So here will be, this will be the heads, one head style. So now we can't array this because this is a problem. So we're gonna just have to Shift D and rotate along the, well, it doesn't matter here how, but we need to then place it like here, like a continuation, even if it's not aligned with the, there's foreshortening, so there is some effects that I was doing here in the other to try to get the, not only foreshortening, there is the tilting of the hips of the, but I think this won't necessarily change the height of the character if we map correctly the motion regarding the legs. But the foreshortening of the perspective from view is much more critical problem, I think, in this case. So here we can start to, yeah, from here I think we can straighten up, but yeah, we can straighten up, but you need to be very careful about this leg because the hip is tilted wildly here, and so this leg, it should be, yeah, it's further away, so okay, from the body, so that's why it is, it seems aligned, right? Alright, let's do the array here, but I think this won't work because this will array everything here, yeah, including that we don't want. So now let's just do this manually here. So you see this, the pro way is not always perfect. Sometimes you need to do the hard way methods, right? Because they offer some structure of the workflow that the so-called pro method are stupid at. Actually, they are fake pro methods. They are just like okay, this is nice, but it might lack something, right? It doesn't give all the process. So here, so if I needed to twist all this thing, that would be certainly a pro method for that, but you know, this is all that okay. is just a interesting idea, this meme thing, but it's also questionable thing regarding arts, right? There's no such thing like pro and noob. There's just if it weren't like that, a great artist in the history of art like Picasso wouldn't be talking about oh, I painted all my life to just wants to be able to relearn how to paint as a kid, when I was a kid. So this is where the pro goes, the real pro, they goes there. So okay, so let's so by this time you might realize that this is not a pro channel, this is not a professional channel, this is a channel about art, and it can include professional things, but I'm not a professional guide. I can orient some ideas, but this maybe in the future I can go pro stuff, but okay. And so I know lots of artists, they don't need pro tips, like they are looking for the art things, and there's always good that there are artists that care, and well, why not YouTubers, people in the media which that care about the artistic philosophy of study, not so much about the business part of art, which is the worst part of the art, is the business part, right? So like artists needs to make business sometimes, often to survive it, right? In this capitalistic system, right? So anyways, let's go here. Sorry folks, I was explaining the purpose of the job, but we need to work here. So how much these heads are? 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, this tilt means that we are fixing, right? I cannot, because her head is very tilted, right, for counting, so we need to break this this thing too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we know that according to my previous this will not be possible to visualize. I could, okay, we can visualize. I decided to cut here, so you get a very low cut in my opinion here, but that should work. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna cut about the same, more or less the same place, and this will make for, yeah, I've made a margin, so that's why this was a bold thing, right? I guess we got a margin here. So this is where the, because when we do model sheet front view, this if I model on the flat feet stance, right, then the feet, they will be foreshortened terribly, right, and very difficult to draw them in that way usually, even more in orthographic view if it's an organic shape. And then we have to, like, there are the toes which might stack all together like something like this, and then we get the foot doing something like this. Yeah, we might have the ankles here showing a bit, but this depends on, okay, so we got all this, and now, okay, let's count this head's jaws finally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also it doesn't reach 6, so it's 5 point, and so here we can see this is the size, right, of the head jaw. We need to slice it in the middle, so it will be probably Yeah, like maybe it will be easier if you displace this into here. So this thing about here, right? So this is the exact or something very precise half of this thing. So we need, it's more than 6.5 is it might be because we have this this margin, right? Now, but you see it's less than 3/4. It could be 3/4, but it's it's a bit less, so it could say, let's just also check here again. No, I've made my limit a bit higher, so if I used, yeah, so we can make 3/4. Yeah, so let's simplify. So it will be big margin here, but we're gonna recall it here. So 6 point, no, sorry, 5.75, and that's it. So what does that mean? This counting should be matching more or less the other counting, maybe 5 3/4. Let's see. Can we spot? No, it's not this. Let's bring this necromancer to the... This makes more sense, right? She'll decrease proportionally because her head, no, her jaw is very small in this setup also. Very interesting. I expected this to be high, taller, the jaw there. Interesting. Already. Okay, but this is a good thing actually. Yeah, it will be a good thing for what I'm trying to do, because this is a mix. So if I have one image that is very good for the face, was this one precisely, and here we had, yeah, you see the circle. Now we don't see very well. There's one circle here, the big one, and then we have all this space, right? Of course, this is a big image, but it does seem a lot for the space for the jaw growing down. So this is questionable, right? Now that I see it, but anyways, let's start the real model shit now. This will be the more creative part, because we need to... I never tried this in my... I think to make this, so this will be very interesting challenge. Usually I only draw my characters, but now I got into this idea of making this adaptation, right? So grease pencil, we need some stuff here. Yeah, we need some visualizations. We might need these heads, and we need that B thing here. Yeah, okay. The problem is that this is being all in the front. Can I do something to cut this thing? I think we can do something like that. We can't scale. Can we? I think there is not this option here. No, this offset. Yeah, so yeah, the problem is that if I move the way I'm done this, it's very sad, because if I move, I'll need to make this into a different grease pencil object to be able to move it alongside the right, otherwise all things will move. So this is super complicated, right? I want to be able to look at both at the same time, so maybe, and also I want to be looking at the grid. It's very hard to displace here in this setup because of this, right? Because of all these connections, right? Illusionary connections. So I think I just start drawing here. It will be fine. We see the grid more or less well, except for the details. We won't be able to see them very well. We don't need to start this precisely. We can reposition the whole. So we can draw from here, even though it will be not the ideal. I'm gonna reposition after I fix these positionings anyways. So this will be too technical, too annoying, too boring to do. So what I can do, yeah, we can draw the head here. So I just need to decide. I always get lost in this because there's no measurement. So yeah, I need to model, because these are, no, this is gigantic, right? No, actually I just need, this character will be measuring like not 2 meters, but this is 2 meters actually. So we need to model, yeah. And see, we have a scaling problem now. Maybe here we can fix this. At least this we can fix. Like we scale everything down proportionally, and it's also set to the world origin. Yeah, we can do this. So at least this we can do without any loss, I hope. So we can, no, now it's too small, so we can move everything up. Also we can try to find, not gonna risk more than that, right? Okay, that sounds a good positioning. Yeah, because we're not gonna make this size, we're gonna make the size that we need in the grid, right? We want very much precision, but at least the things here are properly organized in a way that it's possible to understand. Okay, now we need this and that. We also want a new, so this will be the I could even make a new model sheet here, why not, right? A grease pencil object. These are studies, right? Yeah, it will possibly prevent other issues, maybe. Yeah. Now let's keep the same. This will, because we have here the materials is all set. Or I can, okay, if I duplicate, but then I have to delete stuff. Yeah, so it would be better to duplicate though, certainly. Yeah, I know what, let's duplicate. Duplicate the grease pencil, and now let's delete everything on the duplicate. So we're gonna call this studies, and we're gonna let it visible, but just for that, those layers, right? And then we got to get this one, and so this will be Necromancer, and this will be the good one to work in from now on. So here we're gonna I'm gonna keep this because here it's very easy to get lost, I think. Also, I'm get lost here because this thing disappears. Okay, so here is the spot. About that's her head, right? This line here, yeah, about here. And the floor is where the 3D cursor is, so at least, yeah, we see here the head. Also, if we spot this red here, we can calculate that this plus this, these are 2 meters, yeah. Alright, so usually what I do is that we need a new layer here. We're gonna use a new material here to differentiate. Yeah, I think we can duplicate this one. No, it is here, right? So we're gonna add here, then sketch. We're gonna change this to, yeah, sketch. That is okay. I'm gonna just change here, get some yellowish that will make clear that this is a different one. Okay, so assuming that also we are not using this head stall, actually I need to compare the, yeah, let's make the just for her for now. Let's return to this one. I need to select here. I want to compare the two. No, don't tell me this. No, it is here. Okay, I thought how could delete all the layers for. So here we can look at the head for an head job, but I don't see the heads. Where are them? Oh, this is for the, it's B. It's actually this and this. Okay, B is the second, is here. Is the first of the dragon nest. So here we see that it's difficult to spot, they have similar colors, but basically whatever is offsetting there weirdly, it's the, yeah, we need to make this analysis. Will be better if we had two drawings, yeah, duplicates, and yeah, this will be very complicated to analyze in this way. But this is to analysis where if there's any interesting match of proportions regarding to body features, and this must be mapped, should be mapped also with some subdivisions, right, of the middle or the third parts divided in thirds. A lot of good things can happen for whichever of the methods of head or head jaws. So here, of course, unfortunately, it will not be good to make the analysis, but we can try to spot if, yeah, we can try to memorize individually what's good here. So here, of course, it's don't get anything actually very good here. About the second head, the middle seems, this I know about my character design, is about the nipples of the chest, of the breast. So here is the, yeah, here is not very clear, but not the nostril, possibly the, yeah, possibly for this one above, slightly above the navel. I mean, I always confuse the two names. So here the third head, really the center, this is interesting, looks to be a little above the crotch, very interesting. And here something, the middle seems to be the top of the knee, or about the top of the knee, so very, very interesting. This very unclear where. Maybe you get the shin and try to divide up below the knee and until the ankle, where the leg start to bend with the feet, right? So maybe if we cut that in half, that will be somewhere like about here. Yeah, possibly, but we'll have to investigate. So this seems to be here, the middle here of the circle, original structural circle, seems to be equivalent to the exactly the joint, right, of the ankle, shin, foot, right? So this can be very, very useful. So for this head stall, simple head stall, this seems to be very similar to, even better in some certain aspects for her proportions. So I like this. So this already has good, very positive points. Also, you could think about this in the horizontal way, but this is not always necessary, but we can do that if we want. Then we need a T-pose probably for the for this kind of character design. And for the other one, let's see what we can get here of interest. So you see this, what is this? This is slightly above the some line of the belly that we might consider, right? A round belly, something like that. So maybe, yeah. Otherwise, here it's difficult to visualize the anatomy. What exactly would be there? Something about the hips, but I think the hip is higher, so it will be, certainly there is something related to some bones here, bony parts of the hip, but it's difficult to tell exactly what, so not super useful. Maybe we can check this in proportion to other calculations, also can help. This one, you see, this one already we're very far from. Yeah, even the half here is far from the crotch, so it's not super helpful. You see, this ends up in a point that is much above the knee. So this is why I ended up not using this method. Personally, I didn't found much helpful for the structures that I was looking for, right? It can do very good things apparently sometimes, but we would need way more stuff to find immediately good stuff, right? It's not spontaneous. And this, you see, it's also not exactly, it seems to be quite above the, so it's not very good for my character design, this thing. This is why I've ended up, I tried, and well, this is much worse. Then I've read something that maybe this is for more advanced users, so bullshit. This like what you're looking for, right? If you're looking for clarity, then this is not very clear, right? It doesn't help to get the understanding of the anatomy. So, but one thing is certain is that the other one, the circles, it provides some. It seems more logical, right? More rootly based, and I like this. If we can give sense to those very basic geometric shapes like a circle and have it work proportionally, it's fantastic. Like, you can build on top of that very basis and sustain that like a base rule. I find this fascinating that it works and can provide, because then we can develop on top of the circle also the circle jaw. You see, the circle jaw is just a variation. We can use both combined, but then we could go super complicated, right? But we can employ both methods. I think we can get good results for different calculations. But then you see this goes like it's the down the rabbit hole maybe. Okay, folks, now stopping doing this. Let's go for the actual model sheet. Sorry about but all this is very important to consider. So we need the one, then we need the necromancer, and then we need to return to the so here. Yes, so because we are we're gonna be employing. Okay, now again I seem to, okay, of course we need this. No, we don't need head's jaw, we need this, just heads, and here we need it's B, right? Head, jaw, and oh wait, I see, she has lost the I see. This one is having this problem, so I don't want to redo this right now, so it will be impossible to visualize here. So let's just for this case we're gonna, what can we do here? We're gonna do a super rough thing here. Now we're gonna I'm gonna do super rough thing here, and just to get the bases there. Yeah, sorry about that. If I fix that before, that I didn't have time. So last thing I'm gonna do here before I start to just is this one. Then we need to B. Okay, this one. I'm gonna create a new one. R, B, reference B, then head, and this we know it's like 5.38, right? Is the same there, right? Nothing. So for this we can probably copy this, just the first one, right? I have double selections here. No, just this one. Oh, it is locked. Yeah, I'm in the wrong one here. Select 1.L. I think if I get this stroke, then we can just click. Yeah, this is much better. I forgot about this. Shift D and P. No, it's not this. Again, it's move, unlock, move to layer head. Yeah, this one. So we could try to clean up this a little, but for example, this we know it's useless. Let's make sure we hide everything else. Here I'm not sure which is the... It's because this one seems to be... Yeah, it's probably the copy, right? And this is the copy, and here is a copy, and here seems to be another copy, and this is another copy, and that's it. There's a amount of copies that I've made, probably 5, 6 or 7. So this head is probably useless. Then this head is probably... It's not so hard if we get a good strategy to fix this. I don't know why the hell these things are to the side. And here get a bit more messy. This is the... Yeah, this... Okay, so all this we can delete. It is just for the... So if we can clean this up, we start to get... So this is the hips. Yeah, this will be very... Yeah, it's much easier to fix this with this stroke. This is why I'm now... I was looking for that feature, I just forgot it existed for a moment. I just, my mind, I was so focused on the workflow. So this head is junk. This head is junk. This head is on purpose, I think it's there because of the, so here is junk, this is junk, this is junk, this is junk. Well, now it starts to get complicated. I think this one is correct one. I was stacking them maybe like here, and here there's no need to be one on. Now we have this thing. I think this one is junk, 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 junk. Here I think it matters little which one, so let's skip this one. Junk, 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 and more junk, and more junk. Yeah. And as for this, yeah, so here junk, 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 junk. We see 5 repetitions, right? Junk, yeah, this junk, no, not this one. This is the hip tilting. Here more of this. Yeah, I have a lot of these extras, right? Okay, let's. Yeah, all these balls here, they are. There's just one leg. Yeah, this will be tough here. They are stacking in a very difficult way. But we can. Yeah, this line, I don't know what. Yeah, it's the continuation there of the. Is that one? Okay, we can. This is like now doing this way. This is like. Unstressing exercise, like no, not this one. I don't know if watchers can have the same feeling. Here also is probably this is that line. Yeah, it is. Here we see this ugly. This is from there. Five of them, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't need to clean everything up, but since they are so chaotic, it works. Now this part, maybe I should not be touching this. There are too many random strokes here, but we can try to clean from, yeah, from bottom to, because it's grease pencil, right? So it understands the. Okay, so maybe we can keep that. Let's save finally. This is the one that works cleaning up. This is why I've decided to do that, because this one really works the cleaning up. The others for streaming, I mean, to this is the ankle. We need that. Okay, and this we can leave like that, yeah. Here I don't know what is this stuff here. Probably more stupid repetitions. Okay, this looks. This looks good. So actually we revived that technology here. We can use this one. This one we've calculated 6.5. So this is not head jaws, this is head. And I was sort of wary of the... Why did I did that? Maybe I've made some deletion mistake there, but anyways, we are using the reference of, so that's it. Let's finally start here. So we're gonna start. I need to think about her height in terms of, because of the way I'm doing. I could try different from once, but the problem is that won't help me. Well, I can actually, because I know exactly her amount of heads, so we can do lots of things here, like, so if I want her, she will have, yeah, so here we need to do something quick. We need to shift H. Now gonna, yeah, what's happening? There's no shift H thing. Oh yeah, okay, no, very interesting. Yeah, very bizarre. It doesn't, I thought we had individual. Okay, so this will be super annoying. So if we can't, we're gonna move this into a new layer. That's it. This will be the correct things, because this is in the combined layer. This is what fucked everything to start. So move to new layer. Actually, this one, right? Yes, that one where I've made the extra, right, where I made that, there's two heads here actually. And of course it is not necessary. Oh yeah, I remember this, because something about the tilting, I guess, but doesn't necessarily need to be like that. Okay, so to start, sorry folks, it is glitching, right, to do this, so sometimes. So we let's see, she has 5 heads, and now where's the model sheet of this other one? Yeah, so now I cannot shift if we are in the, okay, don't tell me why I'm not seeing this layer now. Did I happen to move? Ah, great. Okay, something happened that these were moved maybe to here. No, they are not here. They go to the void. No, this is a keyframe issue. No. Okay, the heads of that are disappeared. Ah, never mind. So, sorry folks, let's continue here. We're gonna just focus on her as we more her on than the countings. Let's go. Yeah, we need them both. We're gonna make this locked. We're gonna lock this. Okay, they are ready. So you need to count. What I'm confused here is the size of the head, because it matters, right? You need to, if I'm, so I need to make some sort of okay, we don't need this. Totally, we don't need this. The thing is that, okay, usually I did that by, I think it was a head of this size, right? So just 4 2x2 little cubes. So that will make like 5 heads here and 5 heads there. And so of course, if she has, so this time we can try different. So because we have a very precise things there, so We can start from the floor, right? In this case, 3, 5 and 3/4, right? It is this one. No, I mean, one, two, three, four, five, 6, 6.5. Why 5 and 3? Maybe I've made an alteration with the size, diminishing the head. Very well, you know, I don't remember, and I've just lost the. So this is chaos already. Oh, hold on, what is this? Now this is the head jaws for her. Oh, here we got something. Hold on, what is? It's also head jaws, right? Head jaws for her. Okay, since we have this head jaws, maybe, even though it's dissatisfactory for me, now it will be too confusing for me to do this right now. Oh, this seems to be a good one. Yeah, this one is a precise one. So maybe I did it here and forgot, didn't move it to the other material, right? Okay, it was here. My mistake, folks. Sorry. So here we're gonna. So you see, it's 5 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and 3/4. So you use this. We're gonna use this. 3/4 is a good value. So we need to go back in here. We are going to so 3/4. Unfortunately, if I want to draw the head on basis of one square, right, this is where I need to change the. This is why using the in this kind of grid, right, system, it is not good to, because the head is the head, right? So if I counted 3/4 here, so half of the half, right? So I have to 3/4. Yeah, I have to model the. This will be the 3/4. So the head will have to stack on top of this 3/4 head, and that will displace the head. So this is why I need to, unless I place this below, right, which could, yeah, this could solve too. So let's try this. Maybe it's not too bad. So you're gonna depthen the. It will also create trouble, but it's a different thing. Let's do it different this time. Maybe this is a better approach for whichever reason I don't like, but maybe it's a good approach. So we're gonna get here and we are gonna get those 3/4 to reality here, half, and here the first. So we need here, right? So this will be the, and now we just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is, oh no, sorry, it's two heads. Ah, so this is much more than that, what I'm doing. It's actually, this is the full head, imaginary head. Then we need this is easier to this side, right? So to define, so it's this one. So 3/4 of a head. So so this will be the, so you have one here, yeah. Yeah, there's many, so we just mark here. And so 5, so, and 3/4, so this 1 2 3 4 5 6, so this is why I always confuse here in this new test here, because this is we are constructing the 6th head, which is not completed. So actually this is the 6th, but head counting 6, but actually not quite completed. So it's like 3/4. So it's 6 divided by, or it's like 75%, right? Which will be, I think 3/4 would do, maybe. Not sure if my maths now, I can't think now of it. So 3/4 of 6, just to make it clear that this is what I want, is the opposite of the, is the different logic. Okay. Okay, this is even clear. Okay, then we have 5th head, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1. So this will be, but isn't she too small? Where is the cube? Yeah, she's like 1 meter tall. Is that, no, she's more than 1 meter tall because of the other head. So she'll be like 1 meter 15, something like that. Yeah, which sort of, we can change these proportions later, so this is not critical now. This size, the scale, but provide the proportion or right, we can do anything correct. So okay, we're gonna start from here indeed, and we're gonna, first we need the, let's pick another material now. So you need to be very, very patient with this kind of digital software, that especially because considering it's 3D, so it's super complicated interface. You need to slow down sometimes to do things correctly. So grid, right? Otherwise it's very easy to make wrong steps and go crazy, right? So front, let's do front, right? But also this is a sketch. Also I'm getting this reference, but I need to sketch some rough here of the characters, so we can it's not front, we're gonna make sketch here of the character. We need to have some idea, and here is very sad because the scales are still not good, but not super sad. We can actually fix this again. So we're gonna enter on object mode, select all. We don't need the grease pencils, we just need, yeah, we actually need this grease pencil which has the studies. So I need to actually align this, we need to be able to see everything there, right? I mean this and this to draw a sketch in the side here. Not comfortable space here, but that should be, also gonna move this to set in a more appropriate way. Yeah, something like that. I think we can survive with this. necromancer and B. That's it. Yeah, so much easier on paper, right? You can. So you need to get this one. But there's advantages, of course. Don't need to talk about doing the in the computer. So this why. Okay, so again we're having problem to switch because we are in edit mode or draw mode for the other grease pencil, and we need to go back to object mode and then swap. Unless we unless we turn off this lock object modes. Okay, now we can use this other material. It can toggle here also. This is not a good one to be using actually. Let's use this one here. Okay. So what I need to do here is that I need to warm up, and we need to try to get the in accordance to these proportions there, to this grid that we draw here. We can, and already looking at her and at her, which is very hard, but it's my character, so I don't need to look too much at her. I know already. Of course, if I'm looking her, it will be quite difficult to get the proper. So I know that I know some of their proportions is quite different than what I do. So far, the neck are thicker. I'm not sure I'm gonna make the neck as thick, maybe just larger than my character. So this is where comes the adaptation, the merging thing. The torso, it's also much bustier, much the torso, the spine, it's much wider, more realistic, and more anime-like, right? And I usually don't draw like that, though. Very stylized, stretched torsos, and well, at least until it reaches the hips. But in relation, right, as a whole, it's. So here I've been drawing so here is where we might need the reference of the. Okay, and now for some reason I've lost the layer that I was looking. Not lost it, just here I want to be looking at this as I draw this sketch here. Okay, so here we got some okay reference. So you see the chin here. We can already, yeah, because the head here is tilted, so I know that her chin would, I shouldn't be doing this right now, but let's do it. So I could have her chin somewhere like here, maybe. I know it won't be too different than my character, my own character. So here you can already start to make some adjustments here. So see, I thickened the yeah, I'm gonna slightly thicken the torso. The hip, I don't know where is the for this one, but I know, yeah, this will be annoying. But I know that in relation to, yeah, this is why this cannot continue with this this amount of complication. So I'm gonna hide this one. I'm gonna keep because actually those bad things here, right? Okay, just this little messed up details. Okay, so continue here. So you see half of the third head, a little more than half of the third head, so about here, right? Not this one actually. I'm looking here. One. This should be reinforced, right? But not here. So about here we have the crotch, and so because I already do my characters with wide hips, their hips also are very wide, even, but they don't look totally wide because the torso are also wide. So I will also widen the torso in a more robust way, right? And also I'll wider slightly maybe the you see the shoulders, so that the thoracic cage will probably be a bit so I don't draw like that. So this I'll be here recently, at least it's not, it's an adaptation. So here the legs, you see, they are not very thick, the thigh, but we can do something about that. But we're gonna, so here it looks like that we'll miss the, oh no, maybe not, maybe it's just an impression, because the legs of my car are very look very tall, right? Very animish, right? So while these are like more dwarvish, or so it's like it's a different thing, right? And so this is complicated, right? So here we, about the knees here, I think it will be the top of the knee is this head, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. About the mid of the fourth head, there's the top of the knee. So fourth head is, I think, probably, yeah, this one, 4. About the mid is the top of the, wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is happening? Bottom of the third. No, it's the middle bottom of the third. I was looking there, but I should be okay. The torso is not here. This is all wrong. So there's attention here, confusion, because this yeah. So why these things need to be, would be much better if they were aligned, everything. Too much distraction, too much things here. Okay, mid of the third head. So the here, about here, this is very interesting. So looks completely wrong to me, but to my senses. So where would be the mid? Oh yeah, the nipples, mid of the second head. Okay, this is I'm familiar with. So here, yeah, so this makes sense to me, but we're gonna broaden the chest, right? And here we're gonna broaden the hips, or just maintain that a little larger there, okay? Then we're gonna have to stick with this purport, but that's for me it's not looking good. And then we need to find the fourth half. Yeah, half is here. So here we'll have the top of the knees, so we can have something like that, and then we can, here I don't care, so we're gonna ignore, and we're gonna half there will be the ankle joint. So half of the last circle, which I for some reason stopped marking. No, we got the square, entire square there. So half here will be the joint of the ankle here, so we can just do the shin here. You see it's, and here we're gonna cut this foot really in, looks very Yeah, very weird, but there's of course how far goes this knee down in all details, maybe before the fourth head ends, so maybe here I went too far. The forehead is here, yeah, so this knee is actually more like here, right? So this makes more place to grow the sheen, and that should favor but we can make a more robust sheen, you see here, calves, right? So we can do sort of that. And here I'm not convinced with this, maybe we need to expand this, right? And for shortening this is very complicated, so maybe more than 3/4. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna propose here some addition, like maybe half. So gonna do this margin here. Yeah, I don't know where exactly, because maybe it'll be, you see this better in the side if we do a side model sheet, right? And so this is also complicated because this will be warm up, so can't expect too much here. And trying to understand so this foot doesn't interest too much for proportions. Let's look for these arms here. Yeah, I see more chubby arms. So this kind of limbs are often used in some certain more cartoonist recent anime styles that I like, but I don't use this too much. I'm more for the elongated cartoony stuff that are widely used in animation, right? I prefer those but it's personal, right? So here, yeah, here it doesn't matter the details here what we do. So it might look good, it might be good. Yeah, I think it's still not convinced about this, but it's because I'm using her proportions on her, so it won't be her, it will be like a mix, and this is why this might be slightly offset. So I can compensate maybe by reducing it slightly this by like shrinking, like squishing this from the sides, the torso. I can get it more like my character design, and then it will suit more this very compressed torso on, so it already looks start to look better in my opinion, from my point of view, of course, of what I'm trying to achieve here. And alright, so for the face now, this will be probably the more complex part, because I'll have to, here I need even luck, I'd say, because what I want to do is that as already maybe aware, I want to let's make the setup here, right? So I have the anime thing have usually they have these patterns of let's make things like here. No, here is not good, sorry. Let's do like here and here. So it's front and side, okay. So what you have is like, I do this again because it's interesting. So for the front we have something like that, then we have the mask, right? This doll mask of theater, or that has a unique expression, right? So basically that mask, that doll mask I call, right, it's very beautiful, right? But it's very stylish, right? And it's not very good for expression, already say. Maybe some will disagree, but I think it's just too perfect. Like it's just not suitable for exaggerated. It can do, but I think it won't be expressive quality as other less idealized face, if you know what I mean. So we get this, of course, is not a good example of that mask, but because we don't see the shading and everything, right? So but the shading is very smooth, right? So even here I made it maybe too squarish. It's very gentle curves here, right? And it's very elongated, right? Not too elongated in the kind of the stuff. So there will be some gentle curvature here, and so it will be a rounded face. And then from the side view we can maybe expand here the forehead. Then the nose will be very tiny, right? Something like that, but it still not be a point, so it will be, there will be a nose, but it can be very, very small and then the mask, it can have some mouth, but it won't do some stuff that I usually do for cartoon eyes. It will more deepen down in a more we can change that, of course, but yeah, this is looking. And then what happens here is the curious thing. There will be for the mask a certain curvature that corresponds precisely to the jawline, if I'm not wrong. And of course we can have other, and here we can have this eyes feature. Maybe it's not. Yeah, and this mask is very, very dollish, right? And here is not very, somewhat realistic, but of course super realized. Then my style, it will tend to go more cartoony in this way. We're gonna have this muzzle shape here. So usually if they have the same height, or I'll do a little less, but anyways, you get some sort of thing. And these are very sticky cheekbones, right, to the sides. And so we have, then we have here the nose will be right somewhere here, right? And so then the shape of the eyes, of course, can vary, but we get LGL. How you can transform the reference is kind of nice. It's only one ref, not a collection. NGL, what is NGL? Sorry, how? Not okay. How can you? Hold on. I need to understand. Not gonna lie. Okay, not gonna say. Not gonna lie. You can transform the reference. Oh, thanks. Yeah. There is delay in the chat, in the voice and chat. Yeah, sorry. So, not gonna lie. How you can transform the reference is kind of nice. Thanks. It's only one ref, not a collection. Yeah, because there's something in the mind that is dynamic, right? Then you start to design ideas in the mind, and yeah, you get a reference, and you have drawn many styles, many attempts, you have a history, a background of having made different crazy attempts. Even, you know, those days when you open the third eye, you start to have visions. I don't know, maybe some drink, harsh drinking, something like that. Then you start to have ideas. Oh, maybe some hardcore experience life. Then you go to drawing and you, okay, now you draw the hatred people that you remember exactly their faces, and you draw them like caricatures, like to destroy, to ridiculaze, to to offend, like, and then you, oh yeah, I know this, so you draw these ideas, and then you start to get crazy character designs, so that pump out of nowhere, like, oh, you just have the inspiration out of nothing. So then after plenty of different kinds of experience and attempting to copy, to observe, then you I'm not very good at actually. I'm good at copying, but I'm not good at observing, but I'm not good at creating my own original. I take too long to, let's say, invent new stuff, because I believe it's because I just like too much to draw my the same thing when I find it. And you know, I know character designers that are very dynamic, right? The professional ones usually, but even kids, they go right away, they create whatever. They see a monster, oh, I like this creature, they draw the version for themselves. So, but when you have this baggage, the luggage, this background, it's much easier to navigate, right? And then with these techniques, right, these analytic techniques, we can also improve, connect them with the intuitive part, and start to build up, right, in a very interesting ways, right? So they are complementary, right? And then we can study the variations. Yeah, so my style here, I was just completing, then it's I have the nose here, and then here there will be the muzzle shape that will protrude. So this happens in some anime too. Then we have the jaw, and my problem in 3D was to find how this could be adapted to 3D, because probably I just impossible characters. Anime manga often are impossible 3D character design, so following that school, really, this is why when you turn them into 3D, they always turn into this garage kit doll face, which are sometimes beautiful, but they are quite different from the 2D outlook, right? And so, but I think there is a merge between these. Are very badly drawn, but I think we get the main concept. I think it's with the explanation. I want to mix, right, these profiles to, like, imagine a shape key doing this, and see if I can animate, like, animatize my style a little, just for this, to also focus a little on this approach of anime in 3D, which is not the, I won't say this is anime. This is very peculiar, but I think it influenced Genshin Impact, also the gameplay, all that. I don't know how much it is famous or not, but 2010 game, right? In Japanese game, I think. So I think it's a bit underrated in terms of the, like, I never heard anyone talking in my country, never. Of course I haven't talked to a lot of people, but no, it doesn't seem that very popular. But probably in Japan, South Korea, Asia, it was very famous. It's still being played in Twitch accounts, by the way. Okay, so let's get to the face. So the face is the hardest part for me, because I have never modeled this doll masks here. I saw many tutorials of artists, 3D artists in Blender doing that very well, because I'm too addicted to my own faces and don't do too much realist face. Then I'm been struggling with just make a simple crude doll face. It's harder than it looks actually. Okay, so in order to achieve that, I need to flatten the face of the character. This bothers me a lot, because if something that my face is not is flattened, you see it's a lot of this curvature, cartoonish curvatures, very widely, at least in some regions. And so this is what I will struggle with, because I need to do this in a way that I will end up liking. So I think I'll have to so some concepts here. Probably I have to expand the muzzle. So while the dragon nest and anime is more like that, well, the dragon nest girl there, that elf lady, so it is more like typical like that, but kind of delicately round. It's not so sharp, right? So it's something like that, I say. And what I'm gonna do here is that I'm gonna do it more like here. So I'm gonna make this transference, right? This adaptation. So for jaw, it will be this in Dragon Nest, but it will be, I need to make something more horizontal to match my character design. For the that part will be tricky. I don't know yet. For the cheekbone here, from of course this is not a front view, nor but let's say even in a front view it will be very sharp. So for something like that, actually in Dragon Nest it is like there's just no, right, it's, yeah, there is a cheekbone here salient, yeah, there's, but it's blurry here, we don't see very well, but there seem to be, we can consider there is something, let's risk something like that. And we want actually to exaggerate it a little more. So we're gonna do something, try to attempt something. Of course then this will have to connect here, right, in some way. So already seeing something happen. So still too much close to my character design from here, so we're gonna try to, yeah, I want the mask, and if I want the mask I can't exaggerate this too much otherwise, or maybe, but then it will be, the mask is flat, right? This will affect in 3D how these shapes adapt. So this is why it's very complicated. It's complex shapes, right, going on. In my experience this will cause more trouble for adapting the mask, but then we can reshape this mask thing. Then the other thing here that matters is nose. No, nose doesn't matter. I don't think there's anything else that matters. These are just some good examples. So here is where we need already to try to adapt here, right? So yeah, we know where the okay, so here we're gonna push this here, right? I think this makes sense. Here, this is where it will very diverge. So in Dragon Nest, you see this curvature here. This will destroy my character design, because there will be no salient cheekbone on the other side, like it would happen something like this in my, right, the muzzle thing, right, it will be something like that, but here we don't have that, and I want to approximate. So this will make it simpler, right, much simpler to model this area. So you need to respect the jaw line probably to start with. That will help. And then from that we can try to map this cheek, the cheek, right? It's like the cheekbone will be slightly on top, but no, not so much, because I'm merging, so I'm not gonna make. Yeah, it's the cheek under the jawbone, basically, on the cheek. So this is strange, but I think it will be somewhere here. So you need to elongate this a little more for this to work, apparently. So it's like they really match the jawline, and it's really the cheek is really from this angle, sort of stacking on top of the jawline. These lines, which are different, they would sort of coincide here. The jawline will be under, but from this angle, in this case, we are seeing the... Yeah, not sure. Yeah, looks like the jawline, really. So then when we reach here, it drops like this, right? So something like that. Looks weird, actually, if we try to map that from this camera shot, but it's possible. The model is weird. I don't have access to the ripped models or something like that, but it's okay. We don't need that to do this. So here it is possible that I don't need to make the head, the skull, elongate on the back as used to do in my character design. We can stick with the circle. Not sure. One thing that I seen also in the very interesting in the Loomis drawing, there's a book, right, famous drawing human anatomic, right? So in their proposition of the head, actually the skull is already cut from the sides in certain proportion, and this will make that we don't need to add. I was doing on my characters, adding extra skull on the back, because this circle already would correspond with the cut sides, right? It would already make an elongated, right, shape, you see. So this is why in the Loomis, this is a top view of the head, then the circle cut by the sides, it will already. So that gave me the idea for me, oh, maybe I could do different my structure of character designs. Why not? So instead of making the whole head shapes match inside the circle, I mean except for the jaw, right? Like instead of making, let's say that what if I cut this and started to, I don't know, this looks weird, but I'll have to experiment. So I make a head so this will look more like easier to make the mask, maybe, right? You see that's already elongated, but then there are still so there I have to make something that's very bizarre, right? For my no, the head is too realistic, right? Doesn't fit, right? So it's not gonna. I have to make, for this to function, I have to like place the jaw nearly inside the base circle, right? Which is, and it still looks weird, right? In terms of proportion. Yeah, so it's like I'll have to make the circle, but it's a good thing to explore, because sometimes by doing different approaches, different methods, you find something that this really collaborates with the understanding of the proportion. So it's worth. So I'm starting to revise some of these. I never read entirely that particular book, but I'm gonna look for this and others that exist. There are some reviews, so watch the reviews if they find anything comparing between. Okay, here the different authors for drawings, this stuff, if it interests you. So yeah, so I have to like, and there's a way to cut. I don't know what is the way to cut here, if there's any proportion that we probably, it's completely arbitrary. Let's say I try, it could be like 3/4 from each side, so about here, right? Could make sense. And then so this is the center of the head, so here's the circle of the head, and then in this way here I'm gonna match the, no, but it still looks too elongated, right? If I match, yeah, she'll have a gigantic chin, right, like in anime. So this might work for furry very well, but if I, but but not for not my style. It will be different. Yeah, so this will require more exploration. All right, so here, enough of these examples. We need to mark these faces here, and this is where I need to verify. Yeah, let's look at her again. Poor is photographed by webcam, so long time I don't draw her. So her eyes are slightly like Dorothy's, which is something like that, very angular, but hers is a bit more rounded, so it's more like there are different propositions here and there. It is not so tall, so it's like more quadratic instead of rectangular, the scale of it, so it's more like something like that. Yes. And then also it is here, it's more, this thing dips more, but it could be about the expression. Yeah, it could be about the expression. So it says, yeah, so here it could have something like here. So exactly, it's here is here, it's also there's a technique, a very good technique that I just learned recently, or relearned. Maybe I learned on some time before and never practiced and ended up forgetting. But there is a technique for eyes that I've checked, which is very good, that we draw an eyeball that will represent the, like, it will be the shrink wrapping position of the eyeball into the skin. So it's not necessarily we can use in different ways, but it's not exactly the side, the entire eyeball is where the eyeball will touch the eyelids or anything. So this way we can make an eyeball or something like that, and then add the upper eyelid, the edge, right, and the bottom eyelid, right, we place them here, and this is the top lid crease and the bottom lid crease. And so this is very, very weird, because you have to sketch an eyeball. The character looks weird, but very, very accurate. And of course, if the character has a different eyeball type, maybe it's I don't know, something more chaotic, which can be true, but it's okay. We can still draw that shape, and my characters, it will usually work, right? So you can draw an eyeball that's like that, then you develop the lids, eyelids, right? And that's very interesting for understanding the structure, and character design, of course, very useful. So these tricks, you start combining everything, right? So here we are gonna, yeah, I need to remember, yeah, because now we are entering the face area. So I have another reference here. And what we're gonna do, because I know the proportion of the character, I think I know of their face somewhat intuitively. I need to address this head, which is the best reference that I found for the face on the front. It's really, I think, frontal here. But we need to find here the probably the I think I didn't made actually measurements of these features, but it is in this crappy thing here. Everything is stacked. Yeah, we see it is here, right? So this is very, very bad. Yeah, it's all in the same. So we can't use that, unfortunately. But if I remember correctly, or we can just redo this here. It's very simple, actually. We can do it directly from a sketch on this one. So it's basically, there will be a circle here, right? Better if we, now let's leave it like that. Okay, and then we have this here you can see very clearly the jaw here, the jawline, how delicate it is. I already see the contour of the mask here, like a very frontal mask. And then from this thing we make divide in the exactly in the middle, which, if I'm not wrong, will give us the about for this one about the center of the pupil, but slightly higher maybe. For us, we can make the center of the pupils, so the center of the eyeballs maybe, and so this solves a lot of problems. And this, we already found out that this match sometimes either the top eyelid, the beginning I think of the top eyelid, but usually the mouth itself, the mouth line on the rest position, and or the bottom of the bottom lip. So either of these trees could work in a proposition, but now I'm interested in knowing what works for mine. It will be very difficult actually here because the drawing is too small. There won't be space to they might vary a little in each drawing, so this is super tricky usually, especially on this character with very, very squashed from vertically squashed chin, jaw, right? So here but okay, what we can do is that we can pick this circle already and see if we can draw, yeah, the middle of this thing here, right? I need to get the as best aligned as we can here without too much disrupts, otherwise this will affect the proportions, right, of this calculation. And here each millimeter sort of matters. Okay, we don't need to exaggerate, we are roughing, right? We're still experimenting intuitively and see if we can draw from scratch very, very well those things, or if it is much more difficult to get any good result from them. So of course we want this curvature here, but here we can do a profile. This 3/4 view can be positive, and the mask usually have a protruded large forehead like a baby, right? Not that babies have that, but yeah, I have this. They are bald, so nearly bald, so it's a baby face basically, right? These doll faces, right? That's why they are so delicate. And not necessarily feminine, just baby-like and pure, like and that's why I call them doll face. So here you see, if the forehead is very large like that, very protrusive, even more than my characters maybe, then it forces that we have something more like angular here, like not angular, I mean we have this kind of shape instead of having a muzzle protrude like in my, we have a tendency to have this thing which is the more traditional, not traditional, but it's more anime. Of course anime have this stuff too, but you get the idea. For the doll mask we need something that will be subtle here. Yeah, so I think we will get something like here, but we need this character. Then this will help us see the nose is very tiny, and here already we can see. So would the mouth be here? The top lip could never be here, right? Oh, maybe it could. No, it will be very strange, right? The middle of the mouth shouldn't be here, or the lower lip here. No, so this would use for the bottom of the bottom lip, right? So we're gonna use this to draw the bottom lip. So we're gonna make the open mouth here, so we can check more the expansion of the mouth if we make some expression with the, even if the jaw is, so she's just opening the mouth, not changing the, it's difficult to actually do this in real life, but okay, just open. Yeah, anime, right? Just move the mouth, not the jaw, so that also works. So here we see that this doesn't seem to be in the right positioning. Gonna get it about here. So I'm drawing this because it's a reference for the profile, and now this will be tricky. So the nose of my characters, let's see, her, do we have the reference here? I should have this reference on. Okay, so you have like head, I think here, yeah, here, definitely here, so go back here. We can have many of those profiles everywhere, but this will make things very difficult to read, to assess the, like if you don't do anything. So here we need to make this kind of nose like here. It's very, very tiny in those masks to fit the proper, and this kind of nose might fit hers, which is like a dot, so it could be that kind of thing here. But I'm interested to know here if we can find any. No, these circles don't seem correct now that I'm looking at. Maybe I accidentally moved this. Yeah, so this is super annoying now. It looks like, oh no, what I'm talking about, this is correct. It's just the jaw is not drawn here in terms of model sheet, but this is just a basic counting, right? So we didn't map it. It's correct. Just confusing the way it is. But so that means that you see the mouth, even open here, the mouth is all above this for my character design. So even this position of that suggests that, well, the mouth also is tilted here. What interests me is the height of the nose. This is very, very difficult for me usually in these character designs. I've met many times, but always I need to revise and double and triple check, make corrections to get it perfected. because I have many character designs, it's not all the same, right? So what can we check here? So maybe there's like one subdivision, then if you half this, it's like right above, below this, the half of the circle. Yeah, slightly below the half of the half. So if you have, this line seem to be exaggeratedly tilted the way I'm drawing right now. Gonna fix that. So it's the half of the, actually I'm looking at it wrongly. The circle is here. So this is the center of the face where should go the eyes. So this we already decided. We want to get the eyes. Yeah, so this we can make it them. So we want to respect this profile for drawing this eye. We want something like this. Yeah, so this can work. Then we want the half of the half until the circle. So here I think it was slightly below the half of the half. So the nose, of course, could be the nose tip, so it will be a very small nose somewhere like here. Yeah, so here could be a good positioning for the nose, right, in this tilted, and here then the foreshortening, so this eye will appear more in perspective here, much more squashed here horizontally. Here we gotta just do the eyes in some way so that we can just start to visualize something of the character design, but it's not gonna be sufficient. You see, it doesn't seem at all to be looking as my character design, so this will gonna further investigate, right? We can, and those, then we have the eyebrows. The character usually have, I know that Dragon Nest, the eyebrows are very close to the eyes. Yeah, here for this character design I can't say it's too much, because if I make them too high they will disappear into the forehead. So I think we can have, yeah, in her case they are quite close, so we can sort of do something more or less. It will correspond a bit, but I like to have them, especially this character with rounded face like hers, chubbier. I prefer to have they a bit like with more distance, but I may revise this. Also because of the doll mask, right? The baby doll mask. So okay, so here we can start to, yeah, so this curvature start to look super anime, right? Which I don't like, because it's neither the doll mask in 3D, neither my style. So it's something that I used to draw in the past, is something more in the, I don't think I can do different in a drawing here, too much different. I had at some point something that could work, but I need to find something that might be good here. I just don't know in which direction. So probably something like this, more slightly more cartoony, but still providing the ability to make the jawline here to as a, okay, so here we can maybe make this, where's the size of her? Okay, she has a pupil that is usually larger by design. Okay, so the pupil more or less exactly in the middle here, and then middle of the entire face here of the eyes, they are exactly in the middle. So I think this is looking good for a doll face proposition. For my character design it looks very very weird. Doesn't look like having the muzzle shape that's for the, but okay, it can work. We'll see how she'll looking with the, okay, then the ears I really don't, let's say she has very long spiky ears, so my character design is different. She has smaller ears, so I'm gonna just try to make smaller ears for her for now. Maybe after I change that. Then we can make this hair. So this hair is just a tiara, something like that, which can go right above the top here. It barely disappears here. And then we have these bangs, right, which are angular. No, they are actually soft on some. Yeah, here they seem to be softer. Here also, okay, I see. They have some density here, so they are something, a mix between straight and curves, and so they have some waviness to them, and also they grow from the top. Also, it's not exactly glued in the. Yeah, because actually she has more hair in the concentration in the back apparently, or is this some subdivision in the center? I'm not sure about this when I draw her, so I have to make a decision here. Let's see what her. Yeah, she has just a round scalp here, very rounded scalp, so maybe we can use that idea and just make the bunks from this. Yeah, we can try to mimic this idea. Maybe that will work. Then of course she has this yeah, no, but we need to expand a little here, because yeah, I think the idea will be to subdivide in the middle. Not sure totally. This is already very messed up. Okay, then you see it's looking very anime, right? To be fair, this reminds me the Clamp. There's a character in. Also, the eyes look similar. RG Vida manga. It was also made into an anime later. So this was inspired for. Yeah, this hairstyle here inspired by. They are also cat ears, so that's combined with the Necromancer idea. So they are ears, hair ears, something, some weird combination. Now here I don't like the angle. Probably it should be more like here, right? Anyways, we got this, and then she has some, yeah, the complete. She has these hair strands to the sides. It could be many things. So it could be, you see, her face is not very wide in the, yeah, the muzzle shape. I'm missing too much the muzzle. So she really is very different from my, yeah, she turned into a anime character barely, basically. So which with the proportion of sort of the dragoness, so start to get some uncanny valley here. It was expected to happen something like that. Maybe I can change here the limbs a little, make them more like thinner, slightly thinner, right? This maybe this is too going a bit too high here, not sure. Just a slight impression that exaggerated this. Okay, now this seems good. Yeah, here's to remember that the torso can also be, yeah, we can reduce the shoulders. And yeah, so this is one thing that I need to investigate more. This will learn in the 3D, right? Alright folks, it's getting late. This was very time consuming, so I won't be able to start the front and side and maybe top of the head as I've been using lately. Maybe top of the hands, right, if they are on a T pose, right? with the dorsal of the hand pointing upward, right? So we can make a top view of the head features, the head plus face features. It's good to make especially in study cases like that of character design. So a top view from the face, from the hands and arms, right, on a T-pose, rest position. Also, we could use this for the feet. No, the feet is not necessary. Not sure. The front view T-pose, yeah, the side view, yeah, T-pose, we take off the arms from the side view. So I'm a bit tired, so my performance will be probably very worse. And so that's it, folks. We made some progress, not the best, but this was the fundamental creative part that I need to. So now we can see some challenge here, imminent challenge. So I'll remember what it is, of course. Impossible that I forget when I see this face here. Yeah, there's an elf character in this RGV, actually very. Look at the internet if you're interested. Yeah, really looking at like her, but and then I really will. So the challenge with the model sheet tomorrow, I intend to hope I'll be able to complete the model sheet and start modeling. But model sheet, you know, it's time consuming. It could take the whole stream, but more likely, at least I'm habituated to do this sequence, so I won't miss any details. Probably will do it smoothly, but even so it's time consuming, so I don't, maybe it's not modeling for tomorrow yet, but then after tomorrow more likely. Oh, there will be a change tomorrow, folks. Sorry, I'll leave the information later. Maybe because a friend that is a 3D artist of mine, a very close friend actually, is returning from Japan, and we're gonna meet Dub. Tomorrow will be in Portuguese, yes, but I need to no, tomorrow is gonna see if it is. Hold on, let me check here. So tomorrow I will have to find a different hour for streaming if I want to stream that tomorrow. So I think I'm gonna do something different. Tomorrow I will stream a special case, right? I will have to stream earlier, so I leave the stream time earlier. It will maybe in the morning, maybe in the early afternoon, not too different than that. Yeah, possibly in the morning will be better for me tomorrow. Maybe it will be bad for you folks. Japan mentioning, yeah, no, a friend of mine is went to Japan. He's also a 3D artist, and he used Blender, and he has been there for more than 1 year. He's also learning Japanese, a very crazy thing. But yeah, he met lots of guys. He even met a producer of an Evangelion, a director of some, not the original series, I don't know, some parallel, maybe of the movie. Yes, he met this guy in a event. It's crazy, and he's crazy about mechas, by the way. So anyways, I'm gonna meet that friend, and it will be very important. This is why I'm going this. I couldn't pick the time, so then if he authorizes, then I'll share some experience there. So folks, but for the streams, I know if this is what you have asked. Sorry, Lucas Smith. So tell me if I answered what you were asking. Yeah, sorry about the delay here. What I mean, well, try to schedule the stream as early when you have an absolute confirmed date. I know you do it in March before the actual stream, but like I think it would add to attract more viewers, maybe. No, please, yes, you're good. Thanks. Okay, so it works. Well, try to schedule the stream as early. Yes. So tomorrow will be a special day here. So this is why I will, but I'll publish today, I think, this stream for tomorrow. I'll just plan and leave it. If there might be some updates, but yeah, it will be a good idea. So I will program the stream. I think the morning will be the best, and then yeah, if anyone cannot join, they can try to join exactly in this time when the video is published, and that will be it. Yeah, so sorry about this change, but that will be announced in advance, so don't worry. So I after I finish the stream, I'll publish make the choice and publish. So yeah, so the problems here, just to conclude, is that yeah, this really, I won't like that the character don't have the wide muzzle shape here. Not wider as hers, maybe slightly compressed, like more like this. So I need to push this a little more towards my character design, I think, for me to like it. Otherwise it's too anime-ish. And then the problem is that I need to see if that will still works. It will not ruin the doll mask, because I think they are incompatible. I have this notion that those things are not really compatible, and this is the big critical problem, that it's sculptural. Also, it's drawing stuff, but it's sculptural, it's 3D. So I need to invent this shape, discover this shape. I don't know if this shape was already done or where it is. I don't know what exactly it would look like in 3D. It's not exactly my character design, and it's not the doll face. So it's this thing. This is why I was collecting some anime-ish reference, and then I'll bring them tomorrow also to get some ideas, and then we try to sculpt. Maybe you can sculpt of top on that and see how we can ruin the doll mask, baby doll mask, and see if we can get some results out from that too. This could be an interesting approach. And that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Lucas Smith. Thanks also Nandi for still there. And then see ya another day, folks. If you wanna join, I'll always be streaming every day, unless something bad happens. But otherwise, we're sticking to good timing. Always 7 p.m. right? But tomorrow also will have a small exception. But it will be available at that time. Maybe the chat will not be available, but that's it. It takes time to YouTube to update the live chat about 1 day after the video is published. So thanks for watching, folks. Take care. Happy blendering. Have a nice week. See you soon, folks.